Mr. Menace. Menace is sobriety.
Take me into the light. So how did...
So what happened, mate? Like, as I said, I was really, really overweight. And I look at pictures of me then, it's like, I can't... Like, literally, I was 20 stone, like 120 plus kg in new money, right? And my health, though, like, it was terrible. So I had a mate down the close. I lived in, like, a posh Brookside, right? And there was a guy down in the close, right? And one day, on a Monday, it was 7th of Jan, 2019, another hangover, another driving to work, like, what the fuck am I doing? And the text said, "Hi, Dave, been thinking about you a lot, mate. How about you join me for 3 months to knock booze on the head, to see how you feel, how your relationship be, all that business." And I looked at it and I literally threw the phone on the van seat. It was like, "You having a fucking laugh, mate? I can't even give up for 3 days." Like, I had no self-belief in that. But what I realised was, for months and months and months, I'd been saying to myself, "I've got to sort this out." Like, I knew in my heart, right? So I've been putting little seeds in my brain going, "Dave, mate, you're going to fucking kill yourself." And it was like holding on to the tiniest bit of self-respect I had left, right? Throughout the day, I started thinking about it. I wonder what I would be like in 3 months. I wonder if I would be a little bit lighter in my weight, if things would be better indoors, if, you know, all these kind of things. And I remember pulling over in Wimbledon in this little lay-by there, and I texted him, "Hi, mate, are you in?" He's never in. Ever. Like, he's always out doing something. He said, "Yep, come and see me."
Oh, my God.
Now, do you know the fact there, mate? If he said, "No, I'm not in,"
You might not have got sober.
exactly. Right, serendipity. It was that moment that changed everything. I drove round and see him. Now, he's a big lad. He looks like Foxy out of Who Dares Wins. They say.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he was standing there like that, and I went, "Let's do it, mate." And that was it. That I hadn't had drink since. It was that moment, right?
How did you get through the first few days of that?
I was all right, Dan, because you know what? It was almost like my mum was with me. It's like, I've seen now, she died in the October before. It's almost like, because when I was with her when she died, right, she was looking up there, right, and her eyes changed colour, like real bright turquoise. And I was holding her hand, right, and I said, I never told her I loved her. She never told me she loved me. Do you know, is that? But I had real closure with it. I said, "Mum, I love you. You're the best mum ever." Like, closure. And it's all, I was doing that in front of her eyes. She wasn't blinking. And I thought, she's going now on her, wherever she's going, right? So I always felt her with me. So the first few days was like, I was like, I'm all or nothing. Like, my drinking was all or nothing. Do you know what I mean? It was like, all. There weren't a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was like, I'm going to do this. So the first I'd say first month or so, I was like really up for it. And the guy Piers, right, he was training to do this bike thing to Paris, right? And I said, "I'll do it with you." And he probably looked at me and thought, "You fat toss, you ain't doing it." But anyway, I trained with him in the mornings on the turbo trainer in his garage, right? And he realised actually he's got a bit of leather in him. I was, good cyclist, right? Started to look a little bit better, started to sleep a bit better, started to feel better. My mental health, you talk about anxiety, that started to drop a little bit. So these were all helping me. But then gradually, I started to, that fading bias effect. You start to forget how shit it was, right? So you start to go,
Think maybe I can go back a little bit.
Maybe I could have one.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Like you start to sort of lead yourself up the wrong path, right? And I was walking my dog one day and I saw my little local over in Wandsworth, over in the County Arms there, right? And I looked at it and I stood there and I thought, what am I going to do at the end of this 3 months? Am I going to be back in there, back on the Peronis, back on going over to Londis after 6 pints of Peroni, buying 2 bottles of wine, drinking one on the way back, walking 5 minutes home, I'd drink a bottle of wine, put it in the bin,
Fucking hell.
and going home with the one bottle. Oh, I've got a bottle of wine, but I'd already just drunk one in 5 minutes. What am I going to be doing? And that was another sort of epiphany of like,
No.
I've got to draw the line. So I turned left, actually. Interesting. I turned the other way and I thought, nah, fuck this. And it wasn't long after that I thought, I got to knock it on the head. Like,
Completely.
It's not 3 months. This is a real opportunity here.
I may never have this clarity again.
Yeah. Like the fact he was there when he could have been out. The fact he texted me that day, if he had texted me another day, I might have gone, fuck that, I can't do it. You know, everything was lining up in the universe for me to do it. So that was another moment of me that, no, that's it, right? And so once I decided enough was enough, it kind of gave me more clarity. Then what came from that was once I dealt with the practicals of not drinking, then come the emotional,
Yeah,
right?
we spoke about this, yeah.
And that is a whole new ball.
That's what I'm battling at the moment, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not to put anyone off, but there are stages, right? And the stage I went through was actually 40 years I've been this person who's gone around people pleasing. I've never pleased myself, like ever. It would be like for everyone else, right? All of a sudden I'm on my own with all my thoughts, all my feelings. It was like getting out of prison, Dan, for 30 years, and you're like institutionalised into something. All of a sudden you're out there in the big world where everything looks different, right?
Yeah.
And it would be so easy to think, I've got to recommit a crime because I know what that's like back there. It's safe.
Safe, yeah.
You know, my comfort blanket in there.
Yeah.
You know, I've got my mates in there, my pool buddies and whatever.
Yeah.
I know the routine. So to then move forward and say, no, I'm actually going to start again and try and sit with your emotions and that, it was like, fuck me, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was. That was the thing.
Menace to sobriety. Just a minute, just a minute.